In the wake of the Roman Empire's collapse, the British Isles were left vulnerable. Into this power vacuum came waves of newcomers, the Angles, Saxons, and Jutes, each carving out their own territories in the land that would one day become England. From among these early settlers, one dynasty emerged that would change the course of British history, the House of Wessex. The House of Wessex, or Gewisses as they were first called, originated from the fierce Germanic warriors who migrated from present-day northern Germany and Denmark to the southern shores of Britain. According to legend, their founder was Cerdic, who arrived around 495 AD. Over the next few decades, Cerdic and his descendants would fight to establish a foothold in southern Britain, eventually giving rise to the Kingdom of Wessex. Wessex emerged in the early 6th century, stretching across what is now Hampshire and parts of the Thames Valley. Under the leadership of Cerdic and his successors, the kingdom began to grow, slowly expanding its borders through warfare and diplomacy. This expansion set the stage for the reign of one of its most significant early kings, Ceawlin. Ceawlin, born around 540 AD, was the grandson of Cerdic and the son of Cynric, a king who helped solidify the kingdom's foundations. Raised in the warrior culture of the Anglo-Saxons, Ceawlin would have grown up learning the arts of war and leadership, preparing him for the throne. In 560 AD, Ceawlin succeeded his father as King of Wessex. At this time, Britain was a fractured land of competing kingdoms, both Anglo-Saxon and native Britain. One of the pivotal battles of Ceawlin's reign occurred in 568 AD at the Battle of Wibbandun. This conflict was fought between Ceawlin's forces and those of Ethelbert of Kent, who was a powerful king in southern England. At Wibbandun, Ceawlin's leadership and the valor of his warriors were put to the test. The battle was fiercely contested, with both sides suffering heavy casualties. Ultimately, Ceawlin achieved victory and drove Ethelbert into Kent. The Battle of Wibbandun was a significant turning point for Ceawlin as it bolstered his reputation as a powerful king. This victory not only helped secure Wessex's borders, but also established Ceawlin as a key player among the Anglo-Saxon rulers of the time. After securing his kingdom's borders, Ceawlin's ambitions continued to grow. He turned his attention westward, aiming at expanding Wessex into British territory, which was still under the control of native Britons. In 577 AD, Ceawlin gathered his forces and marched westward, intent on capturing key British strongholds that had resisted Saxon control for decades. Ceawlin's objective was clear: control the important cities of Gloucester, Cirencester, and Bath, and cut off the Britons from their Welsh allies. This bold move led to a decisive clash at Dyrham. The Saxons faced an alliance of 3 British kings, each defending their stronghold. The Britons, aware of the importance of this battle, put up fierce resistance. However, Ceawlin's battle-hardened warriors, equipped with superior tactics and weaponry, pushed through. Despite the valiant efforts of the British defenders, Ceawlin's army proved too strong. The Battle of Dyrham ended in a crushing defeat for the Britons. Ceawlin captured all 3 cities, Gloucester, Cirencester, and Bath, driving the native rulers into exile or death. This victory gave Wessex control over a vast new swath of territory, and more importantly, it split the Britons of Wales from their southern allies, leaving them isolated. A few years later, in 584 AD, Ceawlin turned his attention northward, beyond the Thames, into territories held by both Anglo-Saxon and British forces. His goal: to raid, plunder, and perhaps conquer these lands. Ceawlin's campaign north of the Thames was initially successful. His forces sacked several settlements and pushed deeper into the territory of Mercians and Britons. Ceawlin's army met with strong resistance near a place called Fethan Leag, which some believe to be located near modern-day Oxfordshire. The Battle of Fethan Leag was fierce and chaotic. Unlike his earlier victories, where Ceawlin had managed to rout his enemies decisively, Fethan Leag seemed to be a much harder struggle. Both sides fought savagely, and the battle raged deep into the night. The outcome of the battle remains uncertain, but some sources suggest that Ceawlin suffered heavy losses. Though he may have succeeded in his raids and plundering, the cost of the victory was high. Following his victories, Ceawlin's power and influence reached new heights. He was recognized not just as the King of Wessex, but as a Bretwalda, an overlord of the Anglo-Saxon kingdoms in southern Britain. This title, meaning Briton ruler signified his dominance over the other Anglo-Saxon rulers, cementing his position as one of the most powerful kings of the era. Ceawlin's grip on Wessex began to weaken. The heavy losses at Fethan Leag, coupled with growing internal strife, sowed the seeds of rebellion within his own kingdom. In 592 AD, just a few years after Fethan Leag, Ceawlin was deposed in a coup led by his nephew Ceawlin. The circumstances of his downfall are unclear. Some say he was killed in battle, while others believe he was exiled and died far from his throne.